Hello and welcome to Money Markets and More with me, Dominic Frisby. And today we are talking about net zero and the green energy revolution. Why it's deluded, why it's damaging, and why it will fail. It cannot work. Before we begin, I just want to plug a couple of things. First, my Substack, The Flying Frisbee. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. It's going great guns, and eventually I'm going to move this YouTube channel over there. Secondly, if you are looking to buy gold, consider the Pure Gold Company. I'll put a link in the description. Premiums are low, quality of service is high, and you can deal with a human being. I have an affiliation deal with them. And third, I have a gig coming up in the West End in May at Crazy Coq's Piccadilly Circus, a fantastic venue. This is me wearing my comedy hat. Please to come to that. And there are links to all in the description. So today we're back in the graveyard, and I wanted to expand on a theme I've been writing about for quite some time. And that is that the green energy revolution is anything but green. In fact, the amount of metal required and the fossil fuel needed to be burnt to make it happen means it will be extraordinarily damaging to the environment. Unprecedented amounts of CO2, meanwhile, will be released into the atmosphere. Meanwhile, unlike the inflation that resulted from COVID and the Ukraine war, which might yet prove temporary, net zero will produce inflation that will be prolonged and entrenched. In other words, net zero is not only deluded, but it will also be extremely damaging, both to the planet and people's lives. So I'm going to explain why and what to do to protect your wealth. So I stumbled across a super talk the other day by Mark Mills, who is author and senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, called The Energy Transition Delusion: Inescapable Mineral Realities. And he argues that the current energy transition to renewable is based on a flawed understanding of the resources required to make it happen. And most of the evidence I'm about to cite here is from that talk. So today the world gets a little under 4% of its total energy supply from wind and solar. That's about a third as much energy as it gets from burning wood. I couldn't believe that stat when I read it. Are we still burning that much wood? But that is what the IEA, the International Energy Agency, says. Wood still provides 350% more energy to the world than all the world's wind turbines and solar power combined. But to get to that 4% level, the world has directly spent something like $5 trillion, more than double UK GDP in the last 15 years, and the same amount again in indirect spending. So, it's spent a lot of money, and we are only at 4%. An electric vehicle requires 400% more metal than a conventional car. To build a machine to replace a gas turbine, you need 1,000 to 2,000% more mineral to deliver the same unit of power, to deliver the same mile of driving, the same hour of heat, the same hour of lighting, or the same hour of computer time. The extra minerals required amount to anything from 2,000 to 7,000%. Overall, this amounts to an increase in mineral demand in the order of 700 to 4,000%. Not to put too fine a hyperbolic point on this, says Mills, this would be the largest single increase in demand or supply of all metals in all human history. It has never happened. I ask, where is all the metal going to come from? Mining cannot increase output, whether it's by 700 or 4,000%, not in the next decade, nor in time for the net zero deadlines. And the problem is we're thinking in terms of kilowatt hours instead of in terms of tonnage. And tonnage is what is required to get those kilowatt hours. Again, Mills, it requires both the extraction and movement of a quantity of materials equal to or greater than the quantities of materials that humanity extracts and moves and grows for all other purposes combined. The world is not capable of doing that with the technologies that exist. So where is all this new metal going to come from? To take a mine from exploration and discovery to production takes 16 years. Even if you relax regulation, unlikely, and you accelerate investment, not so easy, you are at best only going to shave a few years off that. To go out and explore for mines and develop them, it requires investment, which the industry has been starved of since 2011. What is more, there is no guarantee you will ever get a payback. Exploration has a success rate of about 1 in 1,000. So let's say you do discover something and you start building a mine. What if commodity prices come down? You lose a lot more than your shirt. Most mines are not far off the margin. Then there is the political risk, whether it's from activists campaigning to get your mine closed. Many mines in Chile, for example, which is supposed to be a mining hub, have lately been ditched. Mine plans, I should say, because of some such objection. Or from governments seizing the produce. Burkina Faso's Energy and Mines Ministry issued a statement last week saying it had commandeered 200 kilos of gold from Endeavour Mining's operations for public necessity. The company will be compensated for its value, the statement added, without providing further detail. So mining is starved of finance, yet the mining industry needs to deliver new projects at a frequency and a consistent level of financing never previously accomplished, says the energy research company Wood Mackenzie. Currently, the world is not even investing 10% of what is required. And now there's the issue of refining. This is a major geopolitical and strategic issue. China dominates refining. 40% of global copper supply is refined there. 35% of nickel, 65% of cobalt, 87% of rare earth, around about 60% of lithium. So never mind the strategic questions of handing China that much power. How environmentally friendly do you think Chinese refining is going to be? They're not going to use wind. Chinese coal production for power generation hit a record last year. So what's going to happen to energy and metal prices in all of this? Currently, metals prices are a whisper in the broader inflation clamour. But a sustained increase in the price of metals and energy of 300 or 400% will push up overall inflation. There is only so much you can hide with subsidies. Now let's look at the environmental cost. Now, as humans have extracted natural resources from the earth, the natural resources have become increasingly difficult to find and extract. 100 years ago, average copper grades were 4%. That's to say, for every 100 tonnes of ore you process, you might get 4 tonnes of copper. Today, average grades have fallen to 1%. Other rarer metals require much more ore to be processed, especially rare earth metals. And a half-tonne of battery, says Mills, requires 250 tonnes of ore to be processed somewhere. It's an enormous amount. Now, to produce the materials needed to realise net zero, we'll see the world consume and emit carbon dioxide at levels that are unprecedented in mining history, says Mills. The whole thing is nuts. Every time somebody buys an electric vehicle, they are essentially purchasing the previous consumption of 25 barrels of oil equivalent, half oil, half coal and natural gas. So these hydrocarbons have already been burnt before the first electron moves into its batteries on the road. And by the time the electric vehicle makes it to the parking space outside of your house, it has already emitted 14 tonnes of CO2 compared to the 5 tonnes for the conventional vehicle. It's not until the vehicle passes 60,000 miles that you end up with a net reduction, and many vehicles don't make it that far. Humans require more and more energy as we grow more sophisticated. The Industrial Revolution increased energy demand. The automobile increased energy demand. The aeroplane increased energy demand. Computing increased energy demand. Drones and robots and AI, they're all going to increase energy demand. It's just the way we develop. Surely the answer is not to turn our backs on fossil fuels. The focus should be on developing cleaner and more efficient fossil fuel technologies, as well as improving renewable technologies. Unfortunately, the focus on renewable energy has diverted attention and investment from the development of cleaner and more efficient fossil fuel technologies. So, how do you play all this? Do you think net zero diktats are going to change? No, they might sort of get hypocritically ignored, but governments are too scared of the environmental lobby to change tack. I don't believe they even understand what they're doing. I think they think they're doing good. The way to protect yourself, I'd say, is to be long energy and long commodities. If you buy this argument, the likes of BHP, Glencore at the safer end of the market and juniors at the riskier end. However, what I've described is not currently being displayed in energy and metals prices. Either the market has already digested and discounted the story, or it feels it's too far away to matter, or it thinks that governments will pivot, or it is not yet priced in. I'm not sure. What do you think? But the case for a secular bull market in commodities remains strong. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out all the links in the description for my Substack, How to Invest in Gold, and about the gig I've got coming up in May. I promise you it'll be funnier than this video was. I'll see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from the graveyard.